to all the people that love those characters. Just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry in advance. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of Two Buds and One Podcast. I am one of the hosts, the Techno Jelly, and with me is my co-host, Alchem Games, who's just laughing because of what I said before the podcast started, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's it.
So, Alchem, I have pick a number between 1 and 3.
2?
Alright, so Overwatch 2 is a complete disaster, and it makes me sad every time I think about it. So, recently, I know about it because you retweeted it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did a lot of digging because I have a problem. And reading news about Overwatch makes me sad, and yet I keep doing it. So Overwatch 2, the PvE story missions that apparently they were going to focus on has been completely canceled and just canned. Also, I don't know if you've how much you read into it, but also, like, not only have they just been canceled, the devs working on it were fired. Yeah, like everyone is gone. The entire PvE section of Overwatch 2 is gone.
Basically, long story short, Overwatch 2 doesn't exist. It was all a lie to us. They kept saying, we're going to bring it back, we're going to save it, we're going to do the stories, we're going to do the missions. No. They eventually scrapped the whole thing.
Yeah, it's literally gone. Did you see one of the reasons why they've decided on this?
One, they weren't paying their freaking staff, apparently. Not properly.
Well, no. Well, it's... Okay, so what happened is, right, so Invasion, which was the latest PvE content, apparently sold very poorly. Right? Now, in context, like, out of context and just in a void, that sounds bad. It's like, oh man, people were begging for PvE content all this time, and then they don't buy it. Well, of course they're going to cancel it. Well, you have to go into context of this is a fraction of what people wanted. Second of all, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, it was $15 US.
Yeah,
for 3 missions.
Oh yeah, now I remember
for 3 missions that you can't that has no replay value unless you want a high score.
Exactly. It was just an arcade mode with just a small little bit of with story and nothing else.
Like a cutscene at the very beginning, at the very end. Right? Yeah. So like it's 3 story missions, $15, and the whole thing lasts like maybe 30 minutes. Like it's like a couple hours at best.
At most,
At most. Right? So that didn't sell very well. Because of course it didn't, because it's just awful. Second of all, the missions themselves, when people actually played the missions, they're not very good. They were boring. They're like bare bones. Nothing happens. There's no actual story. All the enemies that they've talked about that we've seen, that like they're like, I don't think any of the enemies were there. Like all the cool robot enemies, like it was like very weird versions of them. And so like, it's one of those things where like, well, of course this didn't sell. First of all, this isn't even the PvE that you were selling us in the first place. People were super excited for PvE because of the hero missions and all the other content that you all scrapped already. And after
stuff about hero progression, level ups,
skill trees,
it
was basically a Diablo mode, right?
Yeah.
And then they canceled that. And everyone's like, what the heck? So everyone left. And then the PvE missions that they do make, which aren't very good, don't sell very well. And then everyone says, man, these are kind of bad. And then everyone's like, yeah, well, no duh, because they're just like bare bones. It doesn't look like it took like 6 years of development to make, which is what everyone is expecting, because that's what the 2 in Overwatch 2 was supposed to be, this PvE mode, which it's never happened. And now Overwatch, the PvP mode is just worse. Yeah, in a lot of ways.
From what I understood, though, originally when they scrapped it, I thought they scrapped everything, including PvE. So I thought that was it. Overwatch was done.
The part of the scrapping was that they scrapped the Diablo style mode, and they were going to continue on doing the story missions, right? Which no, still disappointing, right?
But we had story mode.
But it's like, oh yeah, so you're making a single player campaign then, right? Yeah. And then it was like, oh, this PvE is part of the battle pass, or like as part of the seasonal content. It's like, that's not good. And then when the missions came out, it was the invasion missions. Calling these story missions is almost offensive, you know? Like, there was look, I'll be honest, I never played them because it was such a ripoff to begin. Just for the gameplay, it was such a ripoff. But like, apparently there was very little story. And like, I think the funniest thing, so if I follow a bunch of the Overwatch like YouTubers and stuff, and like there was like all the videos on the story missions were like less than 30 minutes.
They couldn't even make content off of that.
Like the content was like, I mean, it was just boring. It was just a weird horde mode, basically. It was like Junkenstein's Revenge, but like slightly more expanded, you know?
So they never even made a different mode. They just kind of said, we're like, okay, we hit it out of the park with horde mode 5 years ago. Let's do that again.
Well, it's also like, do you remember like, I think it was during Overwatch 1, they had that one story mission during, like, it was on King's Row.
The Flashpoint or Flashback or whatever it was called?
Something, I don't know, maybe something like that. It was like on, it was like when everyone got the blue skins. Like,
and like, where it was like an old mission of Overwatch. They were just reliving their youth or reliving their days, and
it was on that mission. It was on King's Row.
Yeah, where Null Sector was trying to take over. Yeah, I remember that.
That
was
mission,
like the only
that mission,
actually good one.
That mission was more in depth than these stories missions. Apparently, like every Overwatch YouTuber I watched said, this is actually a downgrade to what that was. Because like there wasn't as much dialogue, there wasn't as much like flavor. The robots were apparently, like, the actual enemies were dumber and stuff like that. It's just like, there was no value of it, right? And to go off of that as well, the reason you said that you've heard that they basically weren't paying them, right? The devs.
Yeah.
That's not entirely true. The difference is the sales apparently of this PvE mode was connected to a bonus payment, right? And so if it didn't hit a certain number of sales, none of the devs received that bonus.
That's not how.
At least, so basically, that's part of what I'm reading on Dextrato on the website. They are pretty reliable when it comes to
they tend to be like 8 out of 10 times their information all on point.
So they said, furthermore, the poor sales resulted in devs receiving a 0% of the company's profit sharing bonus this month.
So they basically told them, if we don't sell well, you don't get a paycheck. That's fucked up. That's just you're just kind of getting free work out of them just because you're Blizzard.
But it's like it's one of those things where I don't even like Overwatch anymore. Like, in terms of like the actual PvP game, I don't like it anymore. Simply
it's not
because
that people don't like it. I think. Well, okay.
Well, okay.
For some people, they've stopped liking it. But for some people, it's like it's a casual game I'll go back to. But will I play it endlessly? Nah.
Yeah.
Do I like the characters? Sure.
I'll play with like you. Like, when people want to play, I'll play. But the thing is, like, one of the reasons I don't like Overwatch 2 anymore, like, as a game that I'll just play by myself, like queuing as like core player or comp or whatever.
Yeah, like randomly, like, I feel like playing this. I mean, maybe once in a very, very blue moon.
Now, honestly, for me, not even, because support doesn't exist anymore. Support is DPS with extra steps.
Oh yeah, they got rid of support. Yeah, the
support basically doesn't heal anymore. Like, if you're one of the funniest things is I watch a lot of Flats on YouTube for Overwatch stuff, and he says the funniest complaints that he sees in low ranks is that the support isn't healing enough, right? And he says actually in low ranks the support is healing way more than they should. Because in higher ranks, the support should be doing as much damage as the DPS, because everyone heals by themselves now. Like, it's more about carrying. You need to do damage to be able to kill everything. So it's why, like, it's like Mercy's useless, basically.
Yeah, basically for the high tier stuff, the meta is now healers are not optimal or not even useful anymore.
No,
just
they're too
stay
good,
out of
actually.
fire. Oh, they are.
They're better than DPS because they can do damage just as much as the DPS, but they can also have heals, and they also have most of the CC in the game.
Yeah, they do. I forgot about that. They do have.
They also have some of the best ults in the game as well.
Hold on.
So it's like one of those things where it's like it's just basically team deathmatch with extra steps, and I'm just like, one of the reasons I really enjoyed Overwatch is because, at least Overwatch 1, is that I could play Mercy and just heal nonstop. It reminded me of the medic from Team Fortress.
You actually had a different class. You had the defense, you had the attack, you had the support.
To be fair, 6v6,
whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, Overwatch 1 6v6 did have its problems, don't get me wrong. And there is some rose-tinted glasses, also because like I didn't play during the really bad goats stuff, and like the 2 shields meta was really bad apparently. But I also never played ranked outside of literally season 1. Meta. Yeah, I was very apart from that. So like there is some rose tinted glasses on my side, but it's just one of those things where it's just like, I just don't like the game anymore. Like, I don't like 5v5. I think I miss supports being a support and not being DPS. You know? It's just one of those things.
I just got frustrated over the general build up, hype, and lies over and over and over, where they said, we're doing this, we're not doing this. We're going to do this, we're not doing this. You now have to pay for characters. Now the characters are free.
I mean, the character should have been free, period.
The character should have been free, period. And now everyone who paid for characters or paid for the battle pass to get these characters at the end, or pay for the characters themselves, guess what? They're free now. Like any future
to be fair, you're also getting all the skins in the battle pass as well. And to be fair, some of the skins in the battle pass are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like the skins of Overwatch are still really good.
I'm still wondering though, what is the future for them now at this point? Because they basically should, in all honesty, they really should just go and say, yeah, we vastly overestimated what we were going to do with Overwatch 2.
Oh, they did. They've already said that, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if they had to take back everything, like it's not a sequel. It's not a sequel anymore. It's just they just added more DLC characters.
Yeah, it's arguably. I mean, for some people, it's arguably a downgrade because depending on like whether or not you want 5v5 or 6v6.
Because they removed from the original 6v6 to 5v5. All they did was add new characters, but they could have done that without the number 2 on it.
Yeah.
And
they abandoned Overwatch 1 for 3 years to make this game.
Yep.
And which, by the way, that's actually not even true. They abandoned Overwatch 1 to make that hero mode PvE mode, which we never saw. And then they abandoned the hero mode and then worked really hard for 1 year and made Overwatch 2. Because the PvP side of Overwatch 2 is like, it came out, 2022, if I remember correctly? Are we 2 years into it or 3 years into it?
I think we're 3 years
into it. We're 3 years into it. Now, if we're including this year as like a full year, even though it's obviously not even close, but like, so Overwatch 2 PvP was in for 4 years. We know this because they basically said they made the PvP mode that we played in beta in a year.
Yeah.
Because they were all working on PvE, which we never saw. Because it all just got scrapped. Which is just like, makes me sad. I was so excited to see that Mercy skill tree, man. I wanted to make DPS Mercy.
The only reason I'm even mad about this, or even like consider it, is because I liked what it was originally. I liked Overwatch 1. I liked where they were going originally with Overwatch 2, and I had high hopes. I had high hopes for a good story. Yeah. Hell, I've heard apparently that if they were going to continue the story, they were going to have like character development, even character death and everything. And I was like, oh shit, you were actually going to do something with this.
Yeah.
I'm so sad that nothing's going to happen now.
Yeah, I mean, they still say that there's going to be story in Overwatch, but I just don't believe them anymore. Like, I just straight up don't believe them. I'm like, sure, what do you mean?
It's like one of those fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, fool me 3 times, give me my money back.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I didn't really buy. I mean, I guess I technically bought the Overwatch
I paid
2
for
thing.
Overwatch 1. I mean, you know what? I got my money.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Overwatch 1, I do not regret buying Overwatch 1.
Yeah.
I kind of regret buying Overwatch 2.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
I want your opinion. Overwatch 1. Did you pay for any? Did you ever get any of the packs like
I bought
okay
$60 worth of the boxes the first year every time there was a new set.
Okay.
I had every single Overwatch 1 skin basically.
Quick question. Did you ever regret that?
The boxes, maybe the last one or two, because I wasn't into Overwatch at the time. I kind of felt like a knee-jerk reaction. Actually, I don't think so. I don't think I ever regretted it.
I don't think so either. I honestly, I wanted to know what you thought first, but I honestly didn't have a regret back then because it was the characters I enjoyed. It was a game that was a lot of fun. I was excited to see where these characters would go and develop eventually.
Yeah. I mean, the main thing for me was I knew I was making decisions to speed up the process, not necessarily the only way to get them. I was just like, do I want to play 100 hours of this game and get all the skins, or do I want to buy some of the boxes? And my answer was, well, I mean, I do want to play 100 hours of this game, but can I play 100 hours of this game? Probably not. So then I bought the boxes.
Yeah, exactly. And you didn't regret that because back then it was fun, and they added more stuff, and they kept putting stuff out. At least for the
first couple years, at least.
Yeah, for the first few years, they put details, they put work, they put characters in, but then we started to see small little errors. There was and delays. And...
Yeah, they've made a lot of mistakes. I mean, I think, honestly, one of the biggest mistakes, in my opinion, on their side wasn't even necessarily It wasn't necessarily... I don't know if would be their fault or not, but, who knows? I don't know who made these decisions, you know? But whoever made these decisions was wrong. And the worst decision, in my opinion, was the Overwatch League. The Overwatch League was a waste of money, and it made it so the balance team couldn't make up their mind.
Yeah.
Because the problem is that organized, even in Overwatch 2, it's not nearly as bad as a problem, but organized play is so different compared to quick play or comp. What the pros are doing and what for instance, I think the biggest example was Goats. Goats was non-stop everything for a year or something like that, right? In pro play. And it was super boring, right? I have never seen or played against or with Goats because it didn't exist in quick play or the more casual scene, or even I didn't play ranked, so it didn't exist. I didn't know what Goats was until I started learning about the Overwatch League stuff.
Wait, hold on. I'm dense here. Can you please
what Goats is?
What Goats mean?
Yeah, so it's like I said,
greatest of all time, right? It's something else.
Goats is what Goats is. It was created by the team called Goats, which is why it's called Goats. The team that created this team comp was called Goats. And so what it was is when Brigitte first came out, it was Brigitte, Lucio. It was 3 supports and 3 tanks. This was before 222 was released, and so Goats was 3 supports and 3 tanks with usually a Brigitte, and was one of the supports because she hard countered any dive. Because because the problem is that in the Overwatch League, what was really popular were people like Tracer, Genji, Diva, and all these heroes that would dive the backline, basically, right?
Yeah.
And they couldn't figure the problem with that meta was it was very stale. It was obviously the best strategy, and all the pros did it all the time. And so their answer was, instead of balance changes, they created a hero to stop it, and that was Brigitte, because she was anti-dive, and to be fair, she still kind of is, but she was super anti-dive, right? And the problem is that now you couldn't dive Well, now the DPS couldn't do enough damage to kill anyone around Brigitte. So if you just went with the Brigitte, there was so much healing and so much health that DPS couldn't kill them. So everyone played 3 supports and 3 tanks. And the problem is the only comp that could beat that 3 goats was goats. Because no matter how many DPS you had, you couldn't kill them. You couldn't kill them. It was too much health.
Now I remember. That was when it started to get really boring watching
watching Overwatch League, because it was just 3 supports and 3 tanks fighting each other. There was it was like constant fights, but like nothing happened. No one died, and
you didn't have those creative plays. You didn't have those cool epic moments. Everyone just played the same thing. Everyone played the same classes,
and it was really sad because you had some of these players in Overwatch League that were godlike aimers. But they were playing like Brigitte and stuff like that because like it was just what's meta, and
it worked,
and the reason I'm going, so I don't blame the pro teams for playing that, because that's what's good. You're trying to win money. You're trying to win your pro team. You should be playing. The
on problem a pro level, you have to play like to the meta, to the most optimum kind of way, and sometimes the most optimum doesn't mean the most fun. Most enjoyable.
In fact, most of the time it's not. It's like it's like even in all sports. Even in regular sports, the most optimal way to play sometimes probably isn't the most fun.
Thing is,
like technically it's like one of the best ways in my opinion is basketball. Technically, the best way to play basketball is hit nothing but threes. But that's really boring because people love seeing people go into the paint and dunk and stuff, But that's not really optimal. You want 3 points rather than 2 points, Like you want more points, and if you're just really good shot, then taking a shot is always better. But like I said, like it's that's not up, and there are degrees of stuff like that. It's same like football. It's like the football stuff of, soccer is one of the best ways. Is where a lot of teams score 1 goal and then play nonstop defense. Because it's the best way. You score 1 goal and make sure they never score a goal, and then you win. So it's always like that type of stuff for any pro.
In terms of entertainment, which is what the pro league needed to do, because that's how you draw eyes, that's how you get attention, that's how you get more sponsorship. That wasn't really optimal because everyone just they're playing this or playing this. Eventually, everyone just saw everyone doing the same, and you got bored, and they all.
And so, one of the things, in my opinion, another thing with that is that I don't understand Blizzard's thought process on this. Let's make a casual game, Let's make these cool, wacky characters. Let's make it for the casuals so they can play and have fun. How do we advertise this? Let's make a hardcore pro scene with franchising. What casual audience cares about that? Now, to be fair, they were planning like home games and like teams flying over to home cities and stuff like that, and then the pandemic hit. So that's a little unfair to them. So what the vision that they had for that never happened because of the pandemic, which is fair, but I still don't understand the thought process on that. Like, do you think the casual audience would watch? I don't know.
No, the casual audience wouldn't watch.
Overwatch isn't a very good game to watch.
The thing is, it's very confusing. Blizzard, they're trying to make money, so they saw the CS:GO. They saw all these like intense competitive gaming shooters where they're making money, they're making bank because
they're not really making money though.
But they saw the potential. They saw the potential. Look, competitive shooters can do this and make extra income over their own franchise, over their own sport. Let's do it ourselves. We can do this. They forgot that they were a casual shooter. They honestly forgot.
It's the same thing that I had the problem with Heroes of the Storm. I loved I loved Heroes of the Storm. But then for some reason they had so much serious stuff in Heroes of the Storm. Like, what the heck, guys?
And what happened is when they became when they tried to become a competitive shooter, they took notes from those at the top, those who play the meta, who play the most optimized way to play, and those in the casual, their core audience, who should have been listening to and should have been appealing to, they forgot. And they ended up making these changes that everyone started to hate and not like, and eventually people just started to go leave.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm done. This isn't what I wanted originally. It was fun while it lasted.
I mean, another thing is that like it's just weird. They didn't update enough for a pro league. Like, you know, like
yes. Lord, yes.
They're like in my opinion, one of the reasons League of like, look, I'll be true. Okay. League is probably one of the games I've played the most of, right? I played a lot of League. Arguably StarCraft and Minecraft are maybe the two that could even come close. But like I played a lot of League. One of the reasons League is, in my opinion, was so fun is that the game changes every week. Every week the game is different. Which is also a good and bad thing. But like one of the reasons I loved watching League was because of these changes. There was no such thing as a stagnant meta. Or, okay, let me rephrase that. There was no such thing as the same team comp over and over and over again, for the most part. I mean, obviously pros can find their way, but like, because the game changes so often, like there's always different heroes or champions for League, but like there's always different champions. Now, to be fair, in League it did get stagnant, but that's only just because Koreans are too good and they just dominated everyone. To be fair, in Overwatch that happened too. Apparently the Koreans were really good in Overwatch too. So I mean, look, Korea's just too good at video games. The only video game that they arguably aren't the best at is like Valorant and Counter-Strike, and those are two shooters. So like, it's hard to say, but it's just one of those things where it's just like, I don't know, man. Overwatch makes me sad, Alchem. It makes me depressed because I really loved that game, and I just really don't like it. I can't bring myself to click Battle.net and click Overwatch. It just makes me sad.
It's because you grew up with a game originally. When you played the other games, you saw how things evolved, how things changed, and how things can stay fresh. And then you came into this new game, Overwatch, which is new, refreshing. The characters were actually full of life and looked like they had a good story
best thing
behind
was
them.
The characters.
And then you saw the practice that they did, the lack of changes that they kind of did. You saw them start to follow meta or follow the competitive side more than the casual side. And then these changes weren't anything major. They were just small things that changed like competitive scenes. They really didn't change anything casual scenes up until they started to do this.
Until they forced 2-2-2.
Goat kind of thing. Yeah, when they forced
2-2-2, everything changed. And then arguably the worst meta out of all of them happened, which was the 2 shields.
Yeah, that's when the 2 shield. That's when the 2 shield thing happened. Even the casuals picked that up, and that's when everyone started to not like it.
Well, that's because you're just shooting shields all day.
Yeah, and when even the casuals stopped playing creatively, and everyone who plays casually to enjoy just follows a freaking meta. That is like the sign that this game is going to slowly die.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever. Sorry, I keep interrupting you because.
No, you're fine.
Or I keep talking over you.
You're fine.
It just shows in Overwatch 2, arguably the sweatiest game mode is quick play. Like when you and I, the couple times we've played Overwatch, when we have played quick play together, like holy cow, people are taking quick play really seriously.
It's because everyone thought competitive was where it got serious, and so they all jumped over to quick play. Even the competitive players.
Yeah,
and
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I like trying to win. Why? You know, I don't mind. I will fully admit, I am on the try hard side of players, right? But I'm on the try hard side of, man, do I just want to play Mercy and nothing else? So like I'll try my best to win, but I'm going to be playing Mercy and no one else. And like Overwatch 2 was the first time I've ever experienced people like all caps telling people to switch. Honestly, it wasn't always me, but like people get really annoyed at and to be fair, that's also Overwatch 2's counter pick swap meta thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like literally no reason to ever not counter pick ever, which I've heard is really bad in Overwatch 2 because like it's just like everything counters everything so hard, and apparently their goal was so like you to not have a counter pick meta, and now it's just like 100% counterpick meta every time.
The thing is, originally that was the idea for Overwatch to begin with. Where casually you could swap on the fly to be different heroes and counter if you want to, or think creatively outside the box and not be stuck with that one hero you picked. But then people didn't like that. Some people, especially competitive players, didn't like that because they got counterpicked because they won. They basically
when people are good, it's a problem.
One pick. Yeah.
When people are good, it's a problem. Hero,
one good. Because when you're a really good like Widowmaker and they counter you, what are you gonna do? What can you do?
Yeah. Well, so I play Overwatch 2 sometimes with my IRL friends. And when I'm playing with them, we're trying to win and stuff, but we're like, we don't care. It's whatever. We're having fun. And that's honestly the only time I enjoy Overwatch 2 now is if I'm with the decent people I enjoy playing with, because, it's just something
like a casual game.
Yeah. It's because I'm like, I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun with the boys,
Exactly.
But like the amount of times where I've seen one of my friends loves Pharah. He loves Pharah and wants to play only Pharah when he's playing DPS. And it's just so painful to see his spirits die as we're playing the game, right? And I'm like playing Mercy, we're doing the whole Mercy Pharah thing, we're playing, and then both of us instantly get one-tapped by a Widowmaker that's like really good. And we're like, oh damn. Well, we can keep trying this, and we do generally because we're playing quick lane and we don't care. We don't care. We're going to keep trying this. But it's like, damn. Because they weren't playing Widow in the beer and they see Pharah Mercy and they immediately switch to a hit scan player or like Ashe or like Widowmaker and we're like, damn. Well, if we were trying super hard, we'd switch off immediately. But he really loves Pharah and I really like Mercy and we don't want to switch. It's just like, it's just like, ironically, one of the cool things about Overwatch has become, in my opinion, one of the worst features. The counter pick game is so annoying, and I'm just so done with it. I just want to play certain characters.
I'll say it only became annoying to people. No offense to you or any of your friends or anything, but it only became a problem for people who are one tricks. And the whole point of the casual. Okay, in competitive, I can understand doing the one trick, and you dedicated yourself to one person and one play style only. In the casual, I consider the casual play, that's supposed to be like a party game. You can swap the characters on the fly. You can experiment. You can try everything. But then you had the people who jumped into quick play and took it way too seriously.
I honestly think not switching or being a one trick is more of a casual thing. Because the reason it's just no what it is, it's that it's different mindsets though. There's a one trick on the comps on the competitive side where they're playing it because they want to get good at one character. And the casual side is, man, I really love this character's aesthetic. I'm just gonna play nothing but this character because they're cool. It's like in League or other like any game where there's heroes, champions, or agents or whatever. It's like people play a certain hero because they just like them, not because they're good or meta or something. They just like them.
That's originally what I did with Reinhardt, and then I swapped to Diva, and then I swapped to Soldier, and then eventually, once I had like a small little group of characters I was decent with, I swapped around over and over whenever I needed to, which was fun. I mean, that's how I played.
Yeah, I mean, I played basically nothing but Mercy, but that was also before like forced roll lock, so everyone was basically playing DPS, and I was the one Mercy person healing everyone.
Is this why you never understood why the song for Not Gonna Pick Mercy?
I actually don't know.
You never understood.
Don't know that song.
You never heard of the song?
I've never heard
hold
of
on.
the song.
From Living Tombstone, the whole Not Gonna Pick Mercy?
I don't think I really listened to Living Tombstone. I'll listen to it later. I was very specific. I listened to JT Music, or I guess they were Machinima Music or something like that at the time. So they did a couple of Overwatch parody. They did a couple of Overwatch songs, but
I feel like that one SpongeBob thing where I think it was when he heard Scooter never had a Krabby Patty. He was like, I feel that brain like.
Look, Alchem, like as the more podcasts we do, the more you realize that my knowledge is very specific. I did not go outside of things very much. But also, I was also never a music person, so I never really looked for music.
I see. All right.
I was very specific on things, so like I was never a person that. Well, another thing is that I can't. Another thing is like for one of the things that people love doing is listening to music while playing games. I can't generally do that. I get too distracted. I can't do that. I can't focus on listening to music and playing a game at the same time. I'm getting better because of streaming. I'm better now because like I listen to music sometimes while I'm playing Minecraft and stuff, but like I can't generally listen to music. But when Overwatch was at its peak, before I started streaming, I could not play a game and do something else. It was impossible.
Oh, okay.
I could not do it. I could not do it. I'd either just ignore the game and watch, or like if I like for instance watching a video and playing a game, I could not do that. I'd either stop playing the game and just watch the video and die, or I'd play the game and the video is like I have no idea what has happened.
So you know what? I get that. Eventually, I did develop the ability to listen to music and just play, but that was mostly when I was playing fighting games.
Yeah.
I still have this habit playing with FPS games, but the problem is you need to really, really hear well for FPS games. So my gameplay dips when I'm playing, especially on stream.
A lot of FPS games rely on sound cues now, because everything wants to be.
That's why
everything wants to be Counter-Strike now.
Yeah. You need to listen good. You need to be attentive. You need to pay. Yeah, you need to. But meanwhile, I'm just like, man, this music rocks. I want to just blast heads while listening to this music. Like, hearing footsteps?
I mean, it depends on the game, honestly. It's like technically you can listen for sounds in like COD and stuff, or like Fortnite. Like, do you really care though? I mean, I don't really care.
Yeah, not really. It all depends on the. It all depends on the game and how well.
Yeah, it depends on the game.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Warzone when it first came out?
COD?
Yeah, COD Warzone.
Yeah, COD Warzone. Yeah,
like the footsteps, you could be blasting music at like 100%, and you could still hear those. You could hear those footsteps no matter how loud the music was.
Yeah, that was actually really nice when I first started to play. I was like, damn, these things are loud. No wonder.
These people weigh 500 pounds. How heavy their footsteps are. These people are
stomping. Holy crap! Okay.
And that was so funny.
If my opponents want to notify me via river stomping that they're on their way here, cool. I just get my gun ready. But it was it was one of those things.
Yeah. So to move on from Overwatch because it makes me depressed. Let me talk about something that I'm not sure if you know, which you might be happy to hear. I'm going to say 3 words, and you're either going to be happy about it or sad about it, depending on the news I'm about to tell you. Dark and darker.
Yeah, I heard good news. It was good news.
It was good news, but kind of like sideways news in my opinion. It's sideways.
It was like at first, it was like the good news. It was like good news, and then when I heard more details, like
The good news / sideways news is that Dark and Darker is most likely going to the Epic Games Store. It's literally already listed on. You can wish list it on the Epic Games Store. Which, actually, funny enough, Alchem, I didn't know there was a wish listing system on the Epic Games. So I'm glad you're finally updating the store to have a feature that's 10 years old. But I'm glad that it finally exists.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Epic Games is still like far behind any kind of like gaming platform or gaming like multi.
The only thing they have it now. They have it now. But when the Epic Games Store first came out, they didn't have a cart. They didn't have a cart. How do you launch an online store without a cart?
Anyway. Don't you like inputting your information over and over for everything you want to get?
No, because I never bought anything on that Epic Games Store, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, no worries, no one did. People only got like a few things from there.
I mean, I get some of the free games.
Some decent. I get some games. So I'm like, oh okay, yeah.
I get some. Some of the free games that they offer are pretty good deals, and I've gotten some of them and played them. I'm like, man, this is fun.
I'm kind of looking forward to it because I really enjoyed Dark and Darker. I really had a lot of fun, and the experience that I got to play with that was great. So
yeah, Dark and Darker is good.
I'm like, you know what? That you got me, Epic. That's the one game I'll probably buy from you. Besides,
I would wait on it a little bit because did you hear about the other news of the? It's basically confirmed. they still have to go through the whole legal process though. But like, the Korean court has basically looked at whatever company that sued them and said you're idiots.
Okay.
They said it through legal terms and all that stuff, but they basically said you don't have a case. You're wasting our time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I mean, I think technically, what is it, Nexon or something like that? They've technically like appealed the decision or something like that. So obviously they had to go through more process, but they're basically they've won. But the problem is that winning a court case takes time, even if you technically
especially if they have the ability to appeal, in which case they are trying to. Which
they will definitely.
It's embarrassing. I will say this in terms of court: if the freaking judge says not literally, but at least in legal terms,
I found
you're wasting their time.
A South Korean court dismissed Nexon's preliminary injunction against the studio, saying via Google Translate, because it was in Korean, obviously, that Dark and Darker cannot be cannot be viewed as infringing on Nexon's copyright or trade secrets, but the lawsuit itself continues. Because like the court has basically, they've dismissed it, but the thing is like them dismissing it doesn't mean Nexon can't still try to do things.
Yeah, it's just wondering
which, to be
what's
fair,
their next step.
I don't know. I mean, what was their thought process when they tried to sue them in the first place? Like they were suing them for owning assets that they didn't own. Yeah. Like they literally didn't own any of the copyright in it. And they also trying to copyright an idea of
the battle royale,
of medieval battle royale with fantasy.
Yeah,
like, that's the most. Like, first of all, Dark and Darker. One of the best things about Dark and Darker is that it's so generic fantasy that it's hilarious. Yeah. Like they're not even hiding the fact that they're generic fantasy.
Yeah,
like they're the most.
They
Lord of the Rings
have all these.
Like, look, I think the Lord of the Rings lawyers have a better chance at suing them than Nexon does. Because arguably they took everything from Lord of the Rings from like 30 years ago. Yeah. Or D&D.
I don't understand, because all I know is I'm pretty sure, say in an alternate reality they won the case, I'm pretty sure Nexon wouldn't do shit with it. They wouldn't have done anything with this.
I mean, honestly, if they won the case in an alternate reality, it wouldn't be Nexon doing it. The problem is that this sets a bar of you can own ideas, which is a horrible. That's a horrible timeline. Like, you know.
Yeah,
like,
that's a thing. At least in Korea or South Korea, wherever the court was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, they did sue them in America as well, but America basically threw it out immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is why they had to take it off of Steam.
But you're right. If it was true, if they did win, this would set a bad precedent in which people could own ideas, and that would be the dumbest thing ever. And the basic ideas too, like the concept of a battle royale is not a copyrightable idea. You don't own the right to that. There are many like stories and many situations in history where battle royales existed.
Yeah, I mean, even before the term battle royale happens, like it was already happening. You know.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it technically. Like, if you think about it, free for all is battle royale. Like the free for all game mode is literally what battle royale is. The only difference is, or like, I mean, like it's where it started. DayZ, it's a battle royale technically.
Single elimination battle. It's just single elimination free for all. That's basically what it is. It's just that you confined it within more additional rules and additional spaces and stuff, and then you called it a battle royale.
Yeah.
But no, you don't own. No one owns the concept of it.
No one owns an idea.
Yeah,
it's like how I hate the. Do you remember the Lord of the Rings game?
Which one?
The very first one. The first one.
Oh. Okay.
Do you know the AI system in that game is copyrighted, so no one else can use it ever?
The Nemesis
system is copyrighted, so no one can use it.
Because that's actually a unique idea and script.
Yeah, but that also means that it'll never be used again ever.
True, that's the problem.
Like, that's
unless
the
they
problem.
ever do that again.
I mean, when was the last time that you saw a game other than Shadow? Like Shadow of Mordor has 2 games, and the last one was released like what, 7 years ago or something like that.
It's one of the crutches of barring creativity. If you're gonna fence in creativity by being protective of certain ideas, then no one else will be able to make anything. No ingenuity will come of it, and no one will try to make something newer.
Yeah, the problem is that everyone forgets that the best thing about human creativity is iteration.
Yeah.
The greatest painters of all time didn't invent painting, Yeah. They didn't invent it. They just did amazing artwork on it. They didn't invent most of the techniques, though. Well, okay, arguably some of them did, but you know what I mean.
It's just the whole idea is if you create something unique and it's yours and no one has ever thought of it, you kind of want to hone in on that. You want to claim your claim to fame. You don't want someone to take that idea and make it better, or worse, take your idea and monetize it, depending on what you've done already with it. And that's what I understand, like in terms of art, in terms of development, in terms of gaming, in terms of content creation. No one wants their content or wants their original thing to be stolen, or worse, modified. Someone takes it and be like, that was a good idea, but here's my idea to make it better. And then it's one of those pride, one of those you want to own your own craft. You want to. It's a weird, complicated thing.
I mean, some of the best-selling games ever are iterations. Minecraft is an iteration of a game. I can't remember what it was called, but it's not the first game that did it. Fortnite is an iteration of a game.
Yeah.
Fortnite is an iteration of PUBG.
Yeah, creativity spawns from the stuff we've seen in the past. Most people actually, I mean, hell, there's literally a good, I'm going to quote The Simpsons here because I remember seeing it, where I remember it was like some episode with Itchy and Scratchy where they were like fighting for the rights to it and stuff.
Yeah.
And during this court case, this one guy is like, everyone copies everyone. Like if we didn't have this, if someone didn't copy this, we wouldn't have this. If someone did copy this, we wouldn't have this. And
there's so much things like that.
Well, like legally, you can't just steal someone's idea. You can get inspiration, and that's the key word.
The problem is like, the difference between inspiration and copying or stealing is a very fine line when it comes to legal stuff. And to be fair, I think
determining that line is a problem.
I think we've gotten relatively good at it, to be fair. Relatively, comparatively. Yeah. The law is always very slow when it comes to this type of stuff, but I mean, I think it's doing all right, obviously.
Yeah.
And just to say, the official statement from Iron Mace, which is the devs of Dark and Darker, they said that basically they kind of answered the question of when is it coming back on Steam without actually ever saying it. Because let me see if I cannot. Let me see, where is it?
We're never getting it back, are we?
Iron Mace said, "We'll continue working with various partners to give our fans the best options and properly grow the community to foster a long and healthy game." So like they're basically
saying we don't know.
They're saying like, look, guys, we're getting sued still.
Like we're trying,
and then, Epic actually, and like Epic doesn't.
Okay, legalese. That basically sounds like that. Legalese. That sounds like we are currently not legally able to tell you our plans.
And I mean,
they're trying to look positive.
Yeah, and to be fair, honestly, if Epic is saying, "Hey, Dark and Darker, don't go on Steam for another year. Here's a chunk of money," I say do it.
Yeah,
you'll get. It's like, I mean, the game's gonna be free to play anyway, when it full launches. So I mean, it's like not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I can't wait. I can't wait. This is gonna be fun.
I've seen some of the like Dark and Darker stuff. The game looks and it's involved in some interesting ways. There was some weird balancing stuff I heard a long time ago. Apparently, like I think the Ranger was broken at some point because bows were like insane and like no one could stop. Like basically, bows were so good that playing a melee fighter was useless.
Yeah, because once you actually got used to it, your aim, you can actually like one shot.
I would argue that you also there has to be, whenever you're talking about like something is broken like that, you always have to say, yeah, but like what if the person's bad and they miss? Then melee is really good. Because the only time I played it, because I played it just before, like a couple months before it got taken down.
Before it got taken away.
And I played only the fighter. And there's so many times where I went up against people that were like trying to shoot their bow. I'm like, look, I'm going to put out my shield and walk at you. And if you can't kill me, I'm going to kill you in this game. And I was like, ha.
I played the thief who had the bow. And I was like, the rogue. Yeah.
There were so many times I felt bad for I felt so bad for some of the rogues that I fought. There's this one time where I killed a rogue just like as they were opening the portal and just looted them and left.
Oh, damn.
I was like, I'm so sorry as I stabbed him because
like puny rogue, get out of my way.
Well, it's because it was because I can't remember what the circle's called, like the locusts or whatever. It was like right there. So like I was running out of the circle and he was like trying to get to the portal, so he had his back on me. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, man.
Also, I'm just like jelly, just mollywopping a poor rogue before he leaves and apologizing. How Canadian of you?
Look, I can't help it.
It's like jelly smash. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like I took my sword and stabbed him, and I was like, "Damn, I'm sorry."
I am looking forward to the day that
yeah,
when
I'm looking forward to.
Try to get
we should definitely squad up and play some rounds.
Oh no, we squad up. We get whoever we can. We just squad up. Yeah. Just whoever the hell plays with us, they have to take it casually because I know I'm. We'll
get Mia to play with us so she can kill you by accident. I think it'd be hilarious if she kills you.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Like, I just need to make sure like anyone who plays with me has to understand we're not serious. We're not. I'm not serious.
I mean,
that game is fun.
I feel like anyone who watches us knows we're not super serious.
I hope so. Oh, God, I am not. I was literally thinking that while I was driving earlier today. I was like, man, if I had to rely on my game skill as a streamer, I'd be dead. Thank God I don't play seriously.
I mean, you play seriously sometimes. You have gone very laggy on my end. I don't know what happened, but
super fighting game. Oh, what? Nani? Huh? Heyo.
I don't know what happened.
Hello. Hi. Can you see me? Just.
I mean, your audio is totally fine. It's just your.
Refresh me.
Oh, you're fine now. I don't know. Cool. I guess it was just a weird spike on either my end or your end.
The lag spike. But see, honestly, I'm still looking forward to that. I know it'll be a while, but yes, please.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not too long. It'll be interesting to see if can you move your mouse cursor, please? But it'll be interesting to see if they do go on Epic Games Store, if it is one of those exclusive deals that Epic does all the time. I mean, let me put it this way. The fact that Dark and Darker is still existing when it's not technically available anywhere and it's like through torrents and stuff like that just shows that like the community itself they'll play it. You know, they love the game, so they're going to play it. But it's just I don't know. It's just one of those things where like it's the Epic Games Store, and it's been proven that the Epic Games Store does not do very well. Like you have to they have to offer you a lot of money for it to be worth it, especially for a multiplayer game.
Yeah,
it's like that. Did you ever play Rogue Company?
No.
So it was a third-person game that was trying to be like it was like a third-person tactical shooter. Like think like Siege, Counter-Strike, and Valorant, but third person with like heroes. Yeah. I played it a couple times. It was all right, but it recently shut down because no one played it, and I was like, oh, I don't even remember. And I looked at it, and it was an Epic Games Store exclusive. And I was like, oh, that's why no one played it. Because I remember playing it and then uninstalling it because I hated the store. Sorry, say again.
No, I didn't realize it was an exclusive. I didn't even realize that Epic had exclusive besides Overwatch. And now Overwatch,
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
that was like their one exclusive game.
They do have some exclusives, but like you don't know about them because there's no marketing on them because no one plays them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Usually, I thought the whole idea was they kind of they round up some game developer, some publisher.
Yeah, for a timed exclusive.
Here, we'll give you an insane amount of money, just in case no one buys your game off us, but be on our market first.
Be on our market, yeah. Your market for like, generally it's like a year or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if Dark and Duck are going to do that, I'm totally down. I'm like, yeah, do it.
I'd be okay with it because hilariously, when Dark and Darker came out, and everyone was insane about it, I'm surprised no other game developer in the time. It's been like 3 years,
nope,
hasn't it?
They do exist. Games like Dark and Darker.
Oh, there has been?
During Steam Next Fest, another Dark and Darker, like, not clone. Clone is not a good word.
No, but
a game that's basically Dark and Darker was being shown off during Steam Next Fest, and they were like number 2 or 3 most downloaded games.
Oh, maybe
I can't remember what it was called though. Here, you speak. I'll find it.
Oh, okay. I think. Hold on. I think I know.
I think I remember what the game is. I remember seeing there's a YouTuber I watch that plays a lot of indie games and stuff like that, or like plays a lot of like they do like one video per game type of deal, and they just like do tons of games. And I remember seeing it. Problem is now I need to find their channel, and YouTube hates when I look for individual channels nowadays. It's okay. I'll eventually find it.
It's okay. Dark and Darker will come out soon, and then we can play that. And then
yeah.
Just, like,
I mean, hey, good competition. I welcome competition. It means Dark and Darker has to be better.
Yeah. Do better. Be better. Do not rely on your morals.
Okay, I found the channel. Now I need to scroll down.
I forget the name.
Okay. It was called... As I'm scrolling... Dungeonborn.
Oh.
Yeah. Dungeonborn is basically Dark and Darker.
I have to go look it up later and see if the player base is still existent.
It was a Steam Next Fest demo, so no, it doesn't exist. It was a Steam Next Fest demo only, I'm pretty sure. Dungeonborn on Steam. Yes, I have it wishlisted, but yeah, it's coming soon. Yeah, so you could play it during the Steam Next Fest in February, but now you can't. But it's basically Dark and Darker.
Oh, good.
Yep. Basically.
Well, I guess I'll have to wait till one of those games comes out.
Yeah, until one of them.
Still at least something interesting because I don't know.
I mean, I hope it comes out soon. I mean, I think it's just they just need to come out on a marketplace that's not torrent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because when people told me Dark and Darker is back, I was like, oh, good. Yes, now I can play it again. When they told me how to get it, I was like, oh, good. Not going to get it.
Yeah, I'm not doing torrent stuff. Like, it makes me even though I know they're not doing anything weird, it makes me nervous. You know what I mean?
So yeah, exactly. And I would never torrent anything. I never have in my life.
I mean, I actually haven't. I literally have. I don't even know. I don't even know how to do it. Honestly,
I have never once torrented anything in my life. Nor have
I has never done anything illegal. Nothing ever. Yeah, no, he would never download a car. He would never download a car.
Hell yeah, I would. I mean, I know. Not at all. I would never download a car.
I wouldn't download a car. It'd be such a waste. I'd download something else. Can I download money?
Can I too?
Actually, wait. No, don't. That's basically cryptocurrency. I don't like this. I take back that statement. I went down a...
Listen. Besides, I don't have enough space on my drive for that. It is loaded with trillions and trillions of like gigabytes of videos from streams and streams and games and other stuff.
Mostly streams.
And exactly.
Nondescript pictures of their avatars.
Nondescript
There's just
videos.
The casual look. There's just the homework file with 1 terabyte worth of stuff. It's fine. It's just the homework folder, guys. It's okay.
Yeah, it's my art folder.
It's homework. Art. Yes.
It's video and it's art.
Yes.
Don't question me, please. Stop judging me with your eyes. All right. But no. It's one of those I just don't trust torrent, especially back in the day where I did get something one time because I was stupid and I was young and I didn't understand the risk, and thank God I had friends who understood and knew how to fix computers and they could help me back then. They saved my poor PC from getting fucking demolished by whatever the hell I downloaded. Because back then I didn't know anything. I was like, I'm stupid. I mean, technically I am now, but at least I'm a little bit more savvy to know what not to do and what to do to keep my computer safe.
Yeah, pretty much. So, to go into another topic, speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, which is what Dark and Darker is heavily based off of. I know you've played this game. I've played this game a little bit, but it's interesting to say because it also follows our theme of how game companies make me sad and depressed. Because apparently that's just what I do now. Baldur's Gate 3 is the best game ever made, period.
Okay.
But, recently, Larian Studios, which haven't made me sad and depressed. It's not them that's making me sad and depressed. I just want to make that clear. Larian Studios is great. The people who made Baldur's Gate 3 have basically declared they're done with it. Maybe they're doing like a couple bug patch fixes and stuff like that, but like they're not. There's no DLC coming. There's no Baldur's Gate 4. They're done, and they're moving on.
So that was it. That's it. The trilogy. It ends in the trilogy.
No, and that's where we start getting sad and depressed, because Larian doesn't own Baldur's Gate. Wizards of the Coast owns Baldur's Gate. So now all the property of Baldur's Gate 3 is now the IP now belongs back is now in full control of Wizards of the Coast, which owns D&D. And so everyone is like, Wizards of the Coast, for the love of God, don't touch any of these characters, because now they own all the characters in Baldur's Gate 3. They have full rights to it, and they own everything.
Oh, they're gonna fuck it up. I mean, it's Wizards of the Coast.
Because Larian Studios was like given permission to use all this stuff, and they're now done with it, and now it's in Wizards of the Coast's hands. Because let me find the.
The problem is Wizards of the Coast has a pretty bad track record.
They do have a They have a very bad track record, but they also have the track record of Baldur's Gate 3 has made them so much money they might not touch it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's literally one of the most profitable things they've had in years.
It's one of those, the goose that lays a golden egg. Don't mess with it. Do not. Just let it do its thing. Do not do anything to ruin that. But we're talking about a corporation that is led by multiple heads, and multiple heads want to leave their mark on it and be like, I did it. I created it. Someone's going to do something stupid. I give it like a few months before we hear something.
Yeah.
I give it a few months to maybe a year.
The one thing that I'm happy about is that, for the most part, they can't really do anything with Baldur's Gate 3. No. Unless, for some reason, they, take away your access and, shut down it, which I can't. I don't know. They'd have to be crazy to do that. I didn't even beat in Act 1. There's too much game. There's so much game.
There's a lot. But get back into it and start finishing it.
But, my worry is the characters. The characters of Baldur's Gate 3. Because they're going to be inserted in everything D&D now. And and look, to all the people that love those characters, I'm sorry. I'm sorry in advance, because Wizards of the Coast is going to destroy them. They've destroyed every character known to in D&D. Except for maybe the Dragonlance series, which I've heard is pretty much okay.
If they can use a character to make some money or make some income off of their other projects, they're sure as hell. Especially if it seems profitable, they'll do it.
Because the problem is, even the D&D, Wizard of the Coast, the section that works on D&D, don't have say. They have some say, don't get me wrong, but the people who make D&D, they can't say no to the higher ups, right? Yeah. And to be fair, it's a whole other rant on my opinion on the D&D people that are making D&D, but because I don't agree with basically anything they've done in the last 3 years, but that's a whole other rant.
I get that,
but that's because I'm a D&D nerd and I can't help it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those things. I found it. In a tweet, the CEO of Larian Studios, Sven, oh god, I can't look. He's Eastern European name. I can barely pronounce it. I'm sorry. So I'm not going to try. But the CEO of Larian says, as for BG3 and its characters, they now belong to Wizard of the Coast, and I think They understand how important they are for the community, and I trust they'll be treated with respect. I believe that he believes that, but I don't believe that they will.
Oh.
I think because like Sven, I've seen a bunch of interviews with Sven, and he's just such a huge nerd, like in the most adorable, sweet way.
Yeah.
And like, so I believe he believes that, but I don't know, man. Did you ever see interviews he did? He literally has a like plate armor set that he did interviews in, based on the game's arm in the game armor.
Actually, that's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Honestly, and really during the Game Awards, he walked around. He accepted the Game of the Year award in that armor. It was great.
That's really cool.
That's good. It was good. It was good. But yeah,
I mean, that just shows that he's just having fun with it.
I mean,
that's good hands, Sav.
They were huge. They were huge. All of this, the entire Larian Studios are huge D&D fans. And the funny thing is, before they even made a game, do you know the games before they made Baldur's Gate 3? Because I know them, but I don't know.
I do not.
Divinity. Well, they made a game called Divinity Original Sin and Divinity Original Sin 2. And what that game is that it's D&D, but not D&D because copyright. So basically, they went up when they first made the studio. Sven, the guy, met the creators of D&D and said, "Hey." He basically offered, "Hey, you want to make? Can my studio make a D&D game?" And they said no because they were unproven. And they said, "Okay, fine. We'll make our own tabletop RPG system, make 2 games that everyone loves, and then you guys will ask us." And that's what happened.
I see.
I mean, I honestly, I'm very interested to see what they're working on next, because it's just like, I'm interested in what they're gonna make. You know, Larian made the Baldur's Gate 3 for RPG fans is the best game in years, and arguably for a D&D video game, it might be the best D&D video game ever, because unfortunately there aren't very many good official D&D video games. But so I'm just interested to see what Larian Studios will do next. And then this also reminded me that I need to play Baldur's Gate 3. I'm like, oh god, everyone's talking about what they're going to make next, and I haven't even gone past Act 1. Damn.
I mean, actually, it's one of the good things when I have a backlog of games, because sometimes I'm just like, damn, I wonder what happens next, but I would like, oh yeah, I still have so much I can enjoy now.
I am at that classic problem, Malcolm, of where it's been so long that I don't remember what happened, so I might have to make a new game.
Tell me about it. I feel like that with Elden Ring right now.
Well, another thing for me is that I started playing it I was playing it on stream and stuff, and let's just say that they didn't do very well, so I stopped and started playing other things. And so I'm probably not going to play it on stream at all because it just didn't do very well. And I don't think, honestly, I don't think that game is a very watchable. It's a very funny Oh, well, okay. I'm very scatterbrained right now because I want to say about
enjoyable
500 things at the same time.
It's enjoyable to you, but in terms of a content creator standpoint, maybe not so good for everyone who would want to watch. And plus,
well, it's also spoilers. It's also spoilers for people who want to play the game.
Yeah, I was about to say that is one of the bigger things. Some people who want to play a game or want to experience it the first time, they don't want to see a streamer play for the first time because they're like, "Oh no, I want to enjoy it myself."
Yeah, I mean, I basically didn't watch any when Baldur's Gate 3 came out. I basically didn't watch any streams. I know you played it a bunch, and like I had your stream open, like muted, and made sure I wasn't watching. Like I wasn't technically watching because I didn't want any spoilers. But another big thing about Baldur's Gate 3 content is that I'm gonna be a very controversial, spicy take. I really don't like multiplayer in these styles of games. I really don't like playing multiplayer in these style of games. I don't enjoy it. I much prefer single player.
You know, I get that. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Sometimes because you want to experience the entire story and play through your own way. Yeah. You don't want. It's not even the like I want to play my own way. Is that I want to talk to everyone. I want to listen to every dialogue option. I want to talk to everyone. I want to talk to That's necessarily what I meant. You want to play it at your pace and experience it at your own will. Like you don't want to be sidelined by someone else doing something.
Yeah.
You don't want to do story A while all of a sudden someone triggered something for story B, and you're just like, great, now I can't really focus on both stories, or worse, one, like, you know, those kind of situations where if someone took one action, you can no longer take another action.
Yeah.
And now whatever you were doing is done.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like another thing of where I think it's, speaking of like Wizard of the Coast owning the characters, you can't bring as many companions with you when you have human players with you.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I kind of want to. I'd kind of want to hear all the lines they have to say. Like, I want to see them react to things.
So I want to know this character's story, where their connections are, where they grow, but I can't because I have my bud here, and my bud's acting like a jackass, looking over there and probably picking on the townsfolk.
Yeah, it's like a.
It's funny.
Alchem, I hope you understand. I'll never play an RPG with you. I'm sorry, never.
What about D&D?
Okay, video game RPG.
Okay.
We've technically played D&D. We've technically played D&D again. We've played D&D together.
I know.
We literally have.
But I'm just like twiddles thumb in disappointment.
You were very distracted during that,
know.
but yeah, I would say it's not a very good. It was not very good D&D that we played together because of tons of other things, other factors. But we still technically.
Again, for me, a good D&D session highly depends on the DM. Like if I have an engaging,
that's why it was awful. I was the DM.
I put my energy in it. My energy into it.
No. I was saying the D&D game you played, I was the DM, which is why it was awful. But it was like, I was.
Shut up! You did a good job.
I mean, it was a very weird situation, and I didn't hand it. It was a very weird situation.
That's all. It's one of those. If I have the time again, I would jump in because D&D is fun. At its core, D&D is fun.
I play D&D every week.
With my ADHD brain, just sometimes cannot handle, and I'm just like, oh, what's that?
It's true.
But I understand. I know my flaws.
I mean, it would just have to be. You'd have to, if for someone like you, Alchem, the DM would just have to understand, and so there'd have to be constantly, ooh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Moments for you.
Pay attention.
No, it's not just that. You'd have to be very engaging.
Like, yeah, basically.
Like some players like downtime. Like some players like some slow time, you know, to ease into it. For you, it would have to be go, probably.
I mean, I don't mind story building as long as it's really intriguing and it doesn't just.
Yeah.
Okay, you've ever played those situations where it looks like the story is now just gonna revolve around one person, like they are now the main character kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they
I personally try to avoid that. The party's the main character. No one single person's the main character.
I've had bad experiences where someone tried to be the main character. I've had a session where everyone just every single encounter took us like 30 to 40 minutes because everyone was doing, instead of like engaging in combat, they're like, I investigate this, I look over here, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, and by the time we finally get to the combat, it's like late at night now. I'm like, man, I gotta go, I got work.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also in a very weird position in most people because I play D&D with my family, so you know, it's slightly different.
It sounds like you have just a fun time with your family.
Yeah, I know. We play every weekend. That's what I do before the podcast.
Nothing wrong there.
Yeah.
See?
And I play with my
Jelly
friends
doesn't
too.
tell you guys he like DMs the entire he like plans out the entire podcast.
I mean, plan is probably too much. Probably. Maybe.
I was waiting for well, okay, talking point wise, Jelly normally comes with I'm just a big loudmouth who talks about a lot of stuff.
I told you that you didn't have to worry about bringing topics up.
You don't worry about blank.
Like,
Let me worry about blank.
No. Yeah. I said if I said, "Hey, Alchem, I don't have anything. Can you find something?" And I 100% know you would have something.
Yeah,
you would. You would.
Yeah,
but like I told you. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's just I tend to either I dwell on gaming or I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I do too.
Even though even though I don't care so much, I still care because it's enjoyable to hear and talk about. For some reason, controversy is something I like to delve my head into.
It depends on the controversy for me.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem I have with a controversy topic, or not even just topics, it's just like the drama stuff, is that having a reasonable conversation. I mean, I don't think I'd have that problem with you, but like having a reasonable conversation on the internet about drama is like almost impossible. I'm mostly talking about Twitter, but even in general,
yeah, that's the thing. When you and I, if we ever talk about a drama topic, doesn't matter what, well, we are gonna piss off someone, even if our views are neutral.
Even when we talk about anything like this, we probably have.
Like, how dare you talk about Baldur's Gate 3?
Hey, look, I've had some pretty controversial when it comes to food, and like that one thing we talked about when we were talking a lot about food. I'm pretty sure.
How dare you not like spicy food, Alchem?
Yeah, I mean, hey, how many times have we not? Because how many times have you had to walk away because of something I haven't seen or anything like that? I mean, like,
yeah.
We've stopped.
I still can't believe you've never heard the music Not Gonna Pick Mercy. Huh?
Look. I'll fix it. I'll listen to it.
I'm just honestly, with the hype that Overwatch got, that was during the era when everyone tried to like tell you what to pick. You're like, we don't need this. Don't pick this. Go pick Bastion. Go pick Mercy.
Here's the thing, Alchem. I've always had voice chat off in Overwatch.
Oh, okay. So
I've never had voice chat on. Basically, I think I turned voice chat on when I played ranked that like one season. And that season convinced me to never have voice chat on ever again in Overwatch. So I've never had voice chat on.
God, no wonder. I was like,
but don't you remember that one time when I joined you playing Overwatch and you guys were using the in-game voice chat and like mine just didn't work because I haven't switched it on in like 4 years. I haven't used it in so long. That it didn't even know what mic I was using because the mic I had set to it doesn't exist anymore.
Now I remember, because you never actually did that, right? So that you were like, I'm not ready for this. Like, how do we turn this on again?
I'm like, I don't even know what. I'm like, where the heck are even the voice options in the menus? I don't even know where it is.
When you perpetually never speak to the gamers online, but hey. You back then at the start of Overwatch, it wasn't so bad. It was like the first year or maybe the second year when people started to become really toxic. Well, when Overwatch actually was like, we need to do something about the toxicity. We're horrible.
It was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, though I do want to say I feel like toxicity in gaming is probably overblown a little bit.
Toxicity in gaming is always going to be overblown because people have.
It's very clickbait.
I'm gonna say this. People have become very sensitive when it comes to dealing with controversial issues or hardships.
I don't even know if I agree with that. I think it's just because it's very clickable.
That's very toxic of you to think, Jelly. How dare you?
It is.
How dare you not agree with me, Jelly? That is a microaggression. How dare you?
It's true. It is. It is a microaggression. It's just like that one tweet that I love. Did you ever see the tweet? Okay, it's this guy saying it's like Twitter is the weirdest place where someone can say I like pancakes and someone replies so you hate waffles and then the person replies no, that's an entirely different sentence. It's like that is not just Twitter, that's just the internet.
No, that is literally the definition of how basic internet arguments like to skew a conversation. And I bookmarked that one because it's perfect. It has not changed I don't think
that'll ever change. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll ever change because I mean
it'll always be needed.
The internet will always be like that because humans are like that. I've heard those styles of arguments in actual like IRL conversations, and it kills my brain cells. But I can't tell them that face to face because it's a little rude.
I want to talk about something I like. Yeah, I'm like, I like this, and like, oh, so that means you don't like this, huh? Yeah, so you're against this? No,
no, that doesn't mean that at all.
And then I get.
Sometimes it means that, but most of the time it doesn't.
Yeah. Sometimes
it depends on the topic. It's very specific. Yeah, like when I say I like Alchem, I'm just lying.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I'm kidding, Alchem. I love Alchem. It's true. I am lying. I love Alchem. He rejected me though multiple times. It makes me sad.
What? I don't know.
Now I'm just making lore for us. It's okay with a Alchem and Jelly fan fiction on the way.
Yeah. Yes. start spreading all those misinformation. There goes Jelly typing misinformation.
I'm just gonna start spreading misinformation. I'm really good at that.
Exactly. Yes.
Look, it's part of our job. It's part of my job. I just speak.
I'm trying to bat this little. Get out of here. There we go. Trying to bat away something.
Okay.
But
I was gonna say something. I completely lost it. I had no idea what I was gonna say.
Well, what are you gonna say, Joey?
I have no idea. I wish I could remember, but I got distracted because I was unfortunately I was on PC Gamer, and 500 ads showed up, so I had to click. I had to click X. I had to click X on them.
Yeah, good luck looking at any news anymore when they just bombard you with ads. Yay, it's fun.
It was about. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well,
I'm just. I was just like
information for another time.
Yeah, I'm just interested in seeing what Larian does next after Baldur's Gate.
I honestly, so am I, because if they knocked it out of the park so well with Baldur's Gate, what is their next step?
I can't imagine their emails right now. I bet every IP owner is like, hey, you want to make a RPG about this or this or this? They're probably getting offers like crazy right now.
If you can,
and I honestly, I hope they say no to every them and they just do their own thing. Honestly,
if you have an incredible team that can make an incredible story with great writing and great storytelling, pacing, and everything like that,
and great gameplay too.
And unbelievable gameplay. But that goes to show you, great gameplay doesn't need just great gameplay. Some games can just ride on great gameplay.
Yeah,
but some games will rise up even higher with an incredible story.
With everything attached to it.
Yeah. And that's what Baldur's Gate did. They literally knocked it out of the park with that.
Yep. And I mean, the only reason you wouldn't like Baldur's Gate is if you're not a huge fan of RPGs, which is understandable. It's not for everyone.
Exactly.
RPG, it is a very traditional CRPG, which is understandable, you know, and it's not everyone's jam. I get that. But if you love CRPGs, it's like literally the best one ever. Arguably, there are some you could argue some of the older school ones. I'm sure some of the maybe not nostalgia.
Yeah, but
though I must say some of the older ones after Baldur's Gate 3, I'm like, man. I tried to play some of the older ones, and man, some of them are tough. Have you ever tried to play original Fallout?
No.
That game is a nightmare. In the best, it's when I say a nightmare, it's like the best nightmare for old school games. Like, you're like, man, I understand why they're doing this, but man, am I glad that we stopped doing this. You know, like there's a lot of things like, oh, you know what, this makes total sense because you're trying to make a tabletop RPG as a computer game, but nowadays these games are like, no, we're a video game first, and I love that fact. But some of these games is like, oh man. The funniest thing, one of the hardest things to do in that game was I couldn't find out where I could name my character because I couldn't find it. So I accidentally named myself the default character. I named myself None because I didn't enter anything in the character name because I couldn't find it. I'm like, where the heck?
Just rolled around.
Oh my God. It was very funny. Very funny.
Truly were the wasteland wanderer.
I was.
He had no name. You were literally the man with no name.
I literally had no name. I was literally called Non because I had no name.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm interested. I hope they make something cool.
But one thing I will say that you mentioned I will say this for a lot of people, for a lot of gamers especially. It is really good to just go back to the older games and see what exactly they were and see where they came from and how
we've evolved.
For some games,
how some games have just been like, man, this was rough.
See how rough some older games were and be like, oh, whoa, this is where this thing came from.
Yeah.
To see how much things have evolved or devolved in some cases.
Yeah, like COD.
Yeah, or how things never changed at all.
I mean, arguably, I would say a lot of people say COD has changed, and that's the problem. Yeah. Like a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people. I've heard a lot of the hardcore COD community saying like COD has changed, and it hasn't changed for the good.
I've heard them. Honestly, from what I've seen, it just felt like it just either they just took the same practices from previous ones that worked and just kept going, and just all they did was micromanage it into small little updates or changes, or like I heard the most way back. I don't know if there's new stuff because I gave up on Modern Warfare 3. Yeah. All I remember is there was this whole. I could have sworn it was like the movement thing. Like they made it the movement in Modern Warfare 2 was slower, and then they updated it, and 3, and people were. I don't get it. I just didn't care. I don't know. Especially since the maps weren't even better.
All I know is that Lethal Company outsold Modern Warfare 3.
Again, back to the whole indie thing. Yeah, indies are now showing up like AAA. AAA, just learn. Just, it's not about making the best. It's not about doing whatever the fuck you think the market likes. It's doing what the common folk want, what the casual fucking gamer wants. Don't do what the competitive wants. Don't. Who cares?
They're not. They're the ones. Alchem, you're giving them too much credit. They're not listening. Yeah. They don't even know.
The reason you want
they only know how they're
never going to learn.
They're never going to learn because
the competitive.
Yeah, the biggest thing about AAA games is they don't actually know how to make good video games is very subjective. We've had this conversation before. But they don't even know where to begin to make a good video game because all they know how to do is they know how to make video games that make money.
Yeah.
And games that make money are very different. And if that ever stops working, they can't adapt because they only know how to make games that make money. And games that make money, once they stop making money, what are they? Not very good video games generally.
No, boring. I just feel like I don't understand why they don't get this one simple thing. If the competitive player base, like there's only a small amount of people there because everyone starts off as a casual. Like if you want to have a bigger competitive base, you have to appeal to the casual market first because most gamers start off as a casual player in whatever genre of game they started.
Yep.
No one is like top tier in COD their very first game. Like
unless you're a prodigy.
Yeah. Unless you're some prodigy, but at the same time,
that's very few and far between.
Something has to appeal to you.
Yeah.
Something has to appeal to you to want to play it, and most of the time, it's something in the casual level that makes you enjoy it. Yeah. And then later, you enjoy and you play more. You get better and better until you get to the competitive scene. And yeah, sure, there you can have your complaints and gripes about the game, but because you've played it so long, you know the errors and the flaws.
Yeah.
But for the casual base, which will always exist and always be there, and will constantly have new players coming because that's where the gamers or developers should focus on. They don't listen to that.
I mean, the problem is Alchem, while I do agree with you, the casual audience doesn't say anything.
That too, because they're just enjoying the game.
Because they're enjoying the game and they're logging off. Yeah. You know, the problem is the competitive scene are definitely the loudest.
Yeah,
100% they're the loudest.
And like
it's hard to ignore numbers. Well, yeah, I mean, you could look at the numbers and try to figure that out, but I would argue that it's one of those things where you kind of have to see both sides. It's a very okay. This is also one of those things where it depends on the game because different game genres, it depends, but it's like one of those fine line things where it's like both, where you kind of have to listen to the hardcore players, right? Because they are your hardcore player base, and you got to listen to those players a little bit because they probably drive most of the stuff. They're the most passionate side of that, whatever it is, but you can't listen to them too much because what they say is on a very specific point of view, and the casual side will never understand that. But the problem is the casual side will never talk about it because they're just playing the video game. They're just having a good time. They don't care, generally, It's like I think the best game is Minecraft when we talk about this, because I would say I'm slightly unique because I am a hardcore player. I know so much things about vanilla Minecraft, but I understand that I am the odd person out. And so a lot of things that I think should be changed in Minecraft, I actually like the things I want to change in Minecraft, I don't think they should ever do. Yeah. Because like I don't think it'd actually be good overall, like in the long term, because most of the players don't see that. In fact, one of my biggest problems with Minecraft is that like most of the content in Minecraft most players don't see because it's very hard to get there. It's like when we were talking about I think it was like 2 weeks ago. You don't need the objective of Minecraft to kill the Ender Dragon to beat the game isn't explained at all. No. And so for players who want an objective, and it's a very good objective, kill the Ender Dragon. It doesn't tell you how to do that.
No, you have to discover that on your own, and when
or
you finally
have someone tell you how to do it.
You'll get the title credits. Yeah,
and the credits are hilarious. Yeah, the credits are hilarious. Anyone you should read the credits. You should watch the credits.
I actually gotta. Also, hey, chat, I'll say this. If you do want to see like decent, very decent gameplay of Minecraft, you can check out Jelly's channel. They normally, when they stream Minecraft. Right now.
It's on Monday.
Yeah, I know, you swamp, but I say originally you can watch some of the older videos. You will get really good tips and ideas, especially if you're like me who just doesn't understand much about Minecraft, doesn't play it that much. Like, you will see really awesome ideas that they go through, how they actually farm amazing stuff. And I like some of the ideas that I actually learned playing. I was like, oh, this is what Jelly did this one time. I actually should try that.
Well, I know a lot about vanilla Minecraft.
Yeah,
and right now I'm playing modded Minecraft.
Yeah, so for me it's fun because I'm playing vanilla anyway because I've never even beaten the game. So for me it's like,
I'm telling you, Alchem, one day we should play Minecraft together, and I'll show you all the things you didn't know that Minecraft had.
Like, I didn't know you could do this with a chicken.
To be fair, Minecraft is about to have a really big update, and it's changed. Honestly, it's changing a lot. Well, the difference is that Minecraft sometimes they have like big updates depending on the type of player you are. You know what I mean? Like sometimes Minecraft has a huge update, but it's like a builder update where they're adding so many cool cosmetic blocks. You know, so the builds are going to be insane. But for the adventuring players, they haven't really changed that much.
Cool.
And recently, right now, for the adventuring players, they've been really doing more on the adventuring side and like the more of the exploring and objective side of Minecraft, which I agree with some of the decisions they're making, and I completely disagree with some of the decisions they're making. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, you're making this worse, and it's not even my opinion. Like, you are objectively making this worse. Hopefully they don't. So luckily, the things I'm talking about when it comes to making it worse is for it's in like this. They have this weird thing where they have snapshots, which is kind of like a beta, and they have something called experimental, which is things it's kind of like throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. And the stuff that I'm talking about that I think will make the game objectively worse is part of that experimental. And I hope they've heard the feedback of everyone saying, this is bad. Please don't do this.
This is why I hope when you have a player base that is that intuitive.
Oh no, you should have seen Alchem. It was hilarious. Because they have this forum on the experimental tab on the Minecraft website that lets you voice your opinions, and man, was the forums angry is not the right word, but like they were very clear that most people thought this was a bad idea.
Like, don't do it. Don't do it. But yeah.
But yeah.
It all depends on the game developers. You have those I used to have thoughts that there were some game developers that could do no wrong, that were amazing and never failed, like Bethesda, and then...
Oh, God. I feel sorry for you.
I know. I got disappointed with a lot of stuff there back.
Dude, I bought Fallout 76 at full price, so, it's okay.
Everything just works.
It just works, Alchem. It just works.
I still just out of sheer joy and out of sheer frustration watch the Internet Historian's video about Fallout 76.
Oh yeah, I love that's definitely a repeat. I've watched that video dozens of times. It's hilarious.
It's so good. It's great to watch, and I love it. But that's where I got the whole everything just.
Yeah,
it's so good though.
It's good.
That's why I stopped being the whole this developer, this publisher can do no wrong.
I mean the thing with developers that I've learned is that I've taken them off the pedestal that I viewed them on, and they're humans. Yeah. Humans make mistakes all the time. Mm-hmm. And game devs are no programmers. The more I learn, the more I've learned about programming, the more I've learned that it's a miracle that video games work at all. Because man, is it complicated! Like it's. Oh like, yeah. I'll be the first one to admit, programming was one of the classes I failed. Like I bombed it. I was so confused. I was like, what? What is this? Why is semicolons so important, Alchem? They haunt my dreams. What? Semicolons haunt my dreams to this day because of programming.
I'm just like,
and commas. Semicolons and commas haunt me to this day.
And well, good thing I never learned programming. Oh, sorry.
I arguably didn't learn programming. I just learned that I wasn't good at learning programming. Well, I mean, to be fair to myself, I was actually pretty good at programming itself. The problem is all the tests had to be handwritten, and I couldn't I was very confused with writing down code. Doing code on a computer, I was okay, but writing down code, I couldn't do.
Okay, so you were good in practice, but not in theory when you had to explain on paper.
I failed every test, but aced every project. So obviously, I failed the class because I couldn't do. I failed every test basically because I couldn't write code on paper.
You couldn't show how you did it. Yeah, it's like when it's one of those. It's like the math problems. Please solve for X and explain how. Explain you could solve it, but you couldn't explain how. You just knew.
Yeah.
Which is a problem because some of them, especially in tests and classes and stuff, they want to show your work.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I just know how to do this. Leave me alone.
To be fair, it's also because they're trying to stop you from cheating and stuff like that. Which I mean,
that too. Yeah, and academic integrity. Guess what? That doesn't matter when you have a job.
It's true.
The job doesn't care.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean by cheating, though. That's where you get into specifics of what is cheating in real life.
And my job doesn't care if I pull out my calculator and solve the problem, as long as I solve the problem before.
Actually, they probably prefer you taking out the calculator. Honestly.
Yeah.
I do I think both of I'm pretty sure you're around my age. I want to go back in time to all the teachers that told me you'll never have a calculator in your pocket at all times to just laugh at them. I want to laugh at them.
Like pull out my phone. See, it's right here. It's right here.
It's literally right here. I don't need
literally right here.
To be fair, mental math is still a problem, but it's whatever.
Ignore that. That was me accidentally clicking something I shouldn't have. Whoops. But yeah, no, that I swear I wanted. Nowadays, when I could go back to my teacher and I'll be like, look, you were so wrong. You're teaching me you won't use such technology. How wrong you were. It's now attached to my hip. It's literally here constantly.
Arguably, it's a problem because people are addicted to it, but that doesn't. That's besides the point.
But oh well. The point, I have my knowledge. Thank goodness. I have the tools to just basically shortcut it, which is fine by me.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people prefer you do it too because it's just easier. Faster most of the time. Sometimes it's wrong, but it's whatever. People make mistakes. Machines make mistakes as well.
Yeah, and now I'm just like, well, that's fine. Now I'm just looking forward to the games I want to play.
Yeah,
I can do that. Yeah. And now, hopefully, one day in the future, I can do this cool ass thing that I like doing right here for a living. This would be cool.
Yeah, this would be cool.
Talk about horrible controversy. Jelly. Our goal is to be able to talk about stuff and every week. Genuinely, not saying now because I know people watching on either the live stream or on the recorded videos or the edited ones. They'd be like, oh, I'll type something. No, I'm waiting for the day when we grow to the point where you and I make a comment about one simple thing and someone blows up in the comment section about it or blows up on Twitter or something. Like, I don't like their opinion.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the day where I wake up and I have 40, like I have 99 plus Twitter notifications.
You have your notifications.
I wake up and I say, "Oh God, what has happened?" Hopefully,
we have a reaction.
Hopefully, oh my God, yeah, that'd be great if someone reacts to something to us. That's when we know we've made it. Yeah, when we see a reaction channel have a reaction on our stuff.
The day we have a reaction video to one of our podcasts, we're like, Jelly, we just run to each other. Oh, come on. Did you see this? Yeah, we did it. We did it.
We finally did it. Someone reacted to their video and they hate us for it.
They hate us for it, yeah.
Though like, honestly, what? I can't imagine what we would say to actually. The problem is we're too cold. There's not enough hot takes. We need to start making more controversial opinions.
PlayStation is mid. Let's see them. Let's see what they do.
No. PlayStation consoles are mid.
Yeah. The consoles mid.
Consoles are mid.
Anymore, except for Spider-Man. Except for Spider-Man and Bloodborne.
Nope, all games are mid. Period. Video games are mid.
I like them. That's a problem.
Yeah, same. Now I'm depressed again.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's a weird era where consoles have become mid because there's nothing actually good on them anymore. Most of them are now on all platforms except for Nintendo. Nintendo's
still got that weird uniqueness.
Still Nintendo. Yeah.
Nintendo's
got that quirkiness. It's just that now everyone knows how like shady they can be when it comes to.
Everyone always knew that. They're they're forgiven for it most of the time.
Yeah, it's one of those. Oh, you Nintendo, you're okay. It's all right. You gave us Mario.
I mean, they're still it's still like that for Nintendo. It's still like that. A lot of people give the pass. Nintendo has the pass for a lot of people.
It's okay, Nintendo. You have the pass. You made Splatoon. You're fine.
That's true. Splatoon is pretty good. Though I have Splatoon 2, and I very rarely played it because Nintendo Online hurts my soul.
Oh, yeah, Nintendo Online, yeah.
Well, at the time, I could only use Wi-Fi for the Switch, so it was awful.
Exactly.
I mean, I can't. Now I still can only use Wi-Fi for the Switch because my dock broke, and I can't replace it.
Oh, that actually genuinely sucks. I'm sorry, man.
I mean, my dock broke, and Nintendo doesn't sell the dock individually, and I'm not buying a Switch to get another dock.
And I'm not buying some third party.
Yeah, and the third party stuff, I'm like, it's just like it's not worth it. It's like not guaranteed to work.
No. Yeah. No,
and I can't. I'm like, look, Nintendo, I literally want to give you my money so I can play my Switch on dock mode because that's how I prefer to play it. And I'm like, nope, can't do it. Guys, I'm waiting for the Switch 2 to come out so I can play all my Switch 1 games.
Yeah, no, but it's
though
good.
To be fair, it saved me from playing Pokemon Unite, and that game does make me sad. Okay, I've noticed a lot of things about gaming makes me sad.
Is it okay? Is it more because just the missed potential that you used to see or back then, or maybe because we had rose tinted glasses back then?
I think it's because it's one of those things where I don't know.
For me, I just feel like I see that there was all the like nowadays some games, especially game development and maybe new consoles.
Honestly, I think it's me
understanding, but it's wasted.
Yeah, I think it's me understanding game development more and just seeing like what it can be or what it could be or like all the potential and seeing like, oh my God, there's so much stuff wasted. But I mean, that's like also kind of like that's kind of like not to pull that the growing older part. It's just like. It happens,
The wiser you becoming cynical. The wiser you become, the more jaded and cynical you become because you start to understand the world and the reasons why certain things.
Though arguably, I'm still quite positive.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. The more I forget the whole. I forget. I don't know if there's actually a term. Maybe there is, but it's like the smarter one is, the more bored they tend to become.
Yeah,
like one of those kind of things. Because the more you understand things, the more you understand how the world works, the more it's like, oh, good, the whimsy and wonder and fantasy and stuff, it's all gone because you now know the truth, and the truth can be just blah.
Yeah.
Like, why does my favorite game suddenly suck? Is it because of the developers? Oh no, it's because certain actions that one person took, or certain actions that happened there behind the scenes, or just bad decision making, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's why everything sucks for my favorite game, and it's gone now.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things.
It's okay.
I'm great, Jelly. You made me sad.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bring everyone down now.
I can't believe you.
Hey, I'm still relatively positive though. It's just because you know what it is? It's just Blizzard. Every time I think about Blizzard, it just makes me sad, and now everything is sad. Because John, honestly, most things are. I'm pretty positive. It's like I don't know how many times I can title AAA gaming makes me depressed or sad. I've had to like spin 2 titles because I wanted to name it the same thing for our podcast because we just talked about how live service sucks and AAA gaming sucks.
Oh yeah, no, it's because it's an ever-growing thing and it'll always happen.
Yeah, I need to think of more interesting ways to say the same thing.
Fine, we'll talk about the genre you and I are in later for the next time. We'll talk about VTubing. We haven't even talked about it.
I don't even know VTubing though. That's the thing. I don't really know anything about VTubing.
I only know now because now I try to be more active on Twitter and I see like there's
I see VTubers get canceled like every other week, and I've never heard. I have never heard these people. Who are these people that apparently have tens of thousands of followers? Like, what the heck?
Who are you people? You have this many followers, and you fuck it up by doing something stupid.
I mean, it's not even that. I'm like, how do I not know all these people that keep getting canceled?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, like they're all getting canceled. And mostly like
all the time.
I feel like the Fry thing from Futurama, like attention everyone, stop being stupid.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. Hey, it's like that Philip DeFranco thing. Yeah. Stop being stupid, stupid. Yeah, don't be stupid. I really want that shit.
By the way, Philip DeFranco, don't like clap us for copying your line.
Please, he would never do that.
He would like, he's like in
all I'm saying is,
yeah.
In other words, I'm going after these random VTubers that I wonder if Philip DeFranco knows what VTubing is.
I'm pretty sure he does.
He probably
I'm pretty
does.
Sure he's delved into a lot.
I mean,
of stuff.
he probably watched the Game Awards and saw Iron Mouse, so he probably did some research on that. So that's probably.
I'm pretty sure VTubing got to the point where like it's noticeable in the gaming genre. I mean, it's not accepted by gamers, but
it's not accepted. I mean, it's anime. It's anime like, so it's never going to be
anime.
It's never going to be fully. But I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of weird niches inside of this stuff. So I mean,
but it's one of we could talk about that one day because it's our own experiences and how we're surprised about all the stuff that happens, or how we're sidelined because you and I are our own experiences as YouTubers. We kind of just do our own thing.
Like we're not 19.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we're not 19.
I'll say that because now that I've hopped in to try to be more like active as like on Twitter and stuff, I see it's like, oh, it just feels like everyone follows each other or their cliques or something. I'm like, oh, okay, this is not. I don't want high school again. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, I mean, people never left high school. That's one thing I've learned. Yeah. But any last words on the topics that are on the stuff we've talked about? Other than the fact that everything makes me sad.
It makes me sad.
Everything makes me sad. Video games make me sad. Tears.
As individually, I'll say gaming does make me sad. But the thing is, I can play good games with friends, and that makes it all better.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like it's the company I keep that makes it better.
It's true. And to be fair, there's still. It's just the AAA games, in my opinion. Like indie games,
hilarious.
And AA games.
Playing indie. Most of the fun games I'm enjoying now is indie games. Lethal Company, Helldivers 2. I'm playing this nice survival game with Mia called Sunken Land, and it's a lot of fun. I've been having
that game's
blast
funny.
with it. Yeah,
that game's funny,
and it is beautiful too. Like the water physics and everything. I'm like, holy crap, this game is awesome, and I'm just getting lost in it because I'm just like,
the game I'm playing off stream right now is just Stardew Valley. It's the best game ever made.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm. You know what? I have it. I didn't get too into it. I'm waiting for the other one, the next one, the chocolate.
I feel like that would be more up your speed because it's more action focused.
Actiony. Yeah.
Like I can see you see the thing is like when it comes to crap, we can't do this. We're gonna keep going on forever.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely go around in circles here. But yeah, I get that's the thing. I'm more action oriented. You're more like crafting, like.
I would say I'm pretty well rounded.
Yeah, you're more well rounded. I'm more action oriented. You're
definitely action oriented.
Like here's a sword. Here's how to use it. Go in that general direction, and there we go. Yeah. I'm good with that. But yeah, that's another topic for another day then. So you want to go ahead and start
so why don't
wrapping it up?
you do your shout outs now after our last words on the topic, so you do shout outs. Go ahead.
Go away. Okay, sorry. So yeah, hi. Those watching live on the stream. So me and Jelly have our podcast. You know, I'll just do this. We do our regular podcast now on Sundays. Sometimes we swap it up depending on availability and schedule. But
it's live Sundays 7 p.m. Until further
live
notice.
Sunday 7 p.m. until further notice, and you can see you can see it also on Jelly's channel on YouTube, where you will see a edited version of it. But it usually consists of all the stuff we talked about.
Yep.
As for me myself, hi, I'm Alchem. I'm normally a Tanuki VTuber. As a Tanuki, I love to shapeshift into different things. So you're seeing me as a bunny today. So
bunny right now.
Hope you guys enjoyed that. But
it's okay. I've already got the thumbnail in mind. It's good.
But yeah, so you can catch me on Twitch, where I play a wide variety of different games, whatever I enjoy, honestly, whatever I feel like playing. And I tend to have just a casual vibe about it. I try to be more chaotic, but honestly, I have fun just chilling and having my gaming time with friends or on my own. So feel free to pop in on Twitch. I have now moved over also onto YouTube, so I'm trying to do dual streaming for both YouTube and Twitch. So nice. Whether you're a Twitch person or a YouTube person, you now have options. So I hope you guys enjoy. And you can also catch stuff on TikTok, on YouTube on the shorts. You can catch me on Twitter. I have an Instagram, but I kind of don't post anything on there, so I gotta work on that. But you can catch me on all those different platforms, where I try my best to do whatever it is that I find enjoyable, and I hope you guys find all that enjoyable. Yeah, thanks, guys. And Jelly, take over.
Yep. I am the Techno Jelly. I stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on YouTube and Twitch simultaneously. Videos on YouTube get uploaded Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. The podcast is uploaded on Sunday night. If you'd like to see it there, it's all on my YouTube channel, The Techno Jelly. YouTube.com/The Techno Jelly. I am on TikTok and Twitter if you'd like to check me out there. At some point, I will start making shorts or TikToks and shorts of the podcast. I haven't really decided. I've gone back and forth of what I wanted to do with them. But at some point, I will. And another thing with that, if you want to see pictures of food, I also have Instagram. That's basically all I post there. I used to post stuff on VRChat, but I don't anymore because I don't know. It just wasn't part of content for me. So yeah, thank you all for being here, and I hope to thank you for watching episode 7 of Two Buds and One Podcast, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, later, guys.